All right, I guess my screen is available.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So thank you for this opportunity, and want to seize this opportunity to share with you what programmer software is currently doing and has been doing in the Nigerian economy over some time. Okay, I think first is that programmer software is the parent company for the foundation, and most of our activities now, aside our business angle, is channeled on our NGO and civil society interventions that programmers has actually been doing in the country. I'll seize the opportunity to share with you some of these initiatives. First, there's an initiative we call the Innovationbed Africa. The Innovationbed Africa has been in the research pipeline for about 10 years now, and is actually taking a new dimension in this new decade of 2030. And I'll seize this opportunity to share with you that the foundation is directly involved with the social impacts of trying to see how Nigerians can face more of innovation and perhaps deliver more innovations to what can actually help grow the Nigerian economy. So that being said, we'll get into share what this has been over a period of time. I will at this point just share that Programmers and Programmers Foundation has actually looked at the general problems within the Nigerian space, as well as, of course, the African and particularly developing country spaces. And we have actually intervened by introducing a few interventions in the past, and I will share with you some of these. One of those interventions has to do with our early research and development on what we call the pseudo liberty, where the pseudo liberty had to involve looking at why graduates are roaming the streets when they are supposed to be fixed up in one form of workforce or another. And we're able to put up a research that was able to address the problem along that area. Another is in the area of trying to see how we can volunteer to grow more innovators in the country. And that we do by representing Nigeria on the United Nations World Summit Awards, and the strategies between 2010 and 2021 was actually the season and period that we're able to use the opportunity to look for innovations from all over the country. And in the last 10 years, Nigeria, I must say, has been doing very well on the innovation world map, and the records, of course, we're going to see very shortly. And the next to that is also our volunteerism on the United Nations World Summit, on the United Nations ICT for Seeds, for which these are actually certain strategic in transformation contents that if shown to Nigerian youths, they can actually use it to also impact their local environment and help their leadership that we feel may not be performing. And all this put together goes to show that with all these efforts and the outcomes that we have generated, what the foundation is currently doing now is to now harvest on all these capacities, homegrown capacities that we have built in the last 10 years. And our vision for the next and upcoming, this new decade, is to see how we can harvest this local resource, of course, plus our international networks of resources to form a faculty that now creates what we call the incubation program. It's a virtual incubation for all youths across the 36 states of the country, and of course FCT Abuja, and that we have started, as I'm going to share you some bits very soon. So the current state right now is we are actually on the ground incubating youths that are nominated by the governments of these various states. Right, and how do we do this? We offer a platform. This platform is the United Nations World Summit Award platform, for which any innovator from any part of the world, any part of the country, can actually bring forward his idea, and we actually promote this on the United Nations World Summit Awards. And of course, as the national expert for the country, and here you have Professor Peter Brock, the chairman of the UN World Summit Awards, they can actually testify to the good records that Nigeria has made and the marks that we have made in the last 10 years. And this, we are actually taking that this Global Innovation Capacity Development Program is a stage that we are sharing with all local governments across the country. And of course, we are actually speaking with states from time to time as this program and the initial cohorts might be starting in a few weeks in Nigeria. I'll seize this opportunity to share that in the last 10 years, here you can see the records from Nigeria. From 2010, 2012, we have programs like iPolice Mobile. You have products like Budget. Our budget was actually discovered on this platform. And up till today, 10 years after, Budget is still doing very well and still a very relevant innovator in the country. In 2013, Nigeria also won. You have the Okoimo that was actually that educational product that won from Osun State. And of course, we went to Sri Lanka with the former governor, Engineer Ralph Arabeshola, to pick his award. And of course, that year, 2013, Nigeria had 3 winning products. Okoimo, Transparent Nigeria, and Opinion Nigeria. Transparent Nigeria is another youth. That is Uchechi Iweala, the son of the current Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Okonjo Iweala. He was still in school when we actually identified this product, and this was one of the winning products in 2013 from Nigeria. And the other one from Jeff, a young guy from another product from Jeff Okorafor, also from Nigeria. We also recorded winnings in 2014 by Omomi being a health solution. It's a health innovation from Nigeria. And of course, that was also by Dr. Charles, and Dr. Charles still now is actually doing so well. So what we do in our foundation is that we are going back to all these people, confirm that they are well-being, they are doing very well, look for whatever promotional things we can give to help them with. And at the same time, we have conscripted them into what we call the Innovationbed Council of Innovators. So for which this automatically forms a faculty for us to now grow the next generation of young Nigerians who should now begin to concentrate on the better ways of using ICTs and not just using ICT for the Yahoo, for the ritual appealing, and of course, messing up the social media from the kind of dimensions that we are seeing today. And of course, you see other records from 2016, 2017. You had Fill Your Tank, Africa on the Rise, Chowberry. 2017, we got Truckit.ng. Truckit.ng was a Nigerian product that won under the Smart Settlement and Urbanization. And this is a powerful innovation that all these innovators are doing all the things they need to do, and we're trying to see how the Nigerian government and the Nigerian leadership generally can actually pay attention to these local and homegrown innovators. In 2018, we had a product called Carrot.ng and of course, Max Okada. These 2 products were celebrated hugely in Portugal in 2019. And of course, these are some of those initiatives that we should not lose sight of. In 2019, we had a product called Check It Up. Check It Up till today. You get to follow Check It Up till today. They're doing a very good job in trying to protect the Nigerian health environment by protecting them from the counterfeiting, for which these guys have used innovation to curb the excess in this sector by way of managing the counterfeiting that we see of drugs amongst people in the society generally. And of course, in 2020, we also have 2 products, Juni Natal, and of course, Juni and Natal Cares that they won, one at the senior category and one at the junior category. And up till 2021, the result of 2021, you can see Nigeria is a winner. Even in 2021, the result just came out a few weeks ago. And in 2021, Nigeria is a winner by 2 products. And we have Lend an Arm, and we also have a product called Follow the Money. And for a country to win, it means that your product must have been part of the top best 40 products or innovations in that year around the world. So it's actually not something very easy to make. And you can see it's actually a global competition with well over 180 countries participating. Sometimes there are more than 400 innovations being submitted from all over the world, and they are generally looking for the 40 top best. So for you to have countries win with innovations from around the world in this competition is really something to really look at. And Nigeria has a very good foundation for us to leverage on what we have and use it to rebuild Nigeria totally anew, and that's our direction. Recently, of course, So we'll just do a little bit of this recaps because even recently, we shared some of these initiatives on request with the president of OCAM, being the Observatory of Digital Communications at the United Nations, for which this project is always there, and they are gladly willing to work with us to see how this project can be scaled across other African countries. And a lot more we can actually share, and I'm sure with time we get to see a lot more because some other states and their records as they're available, the beneficiaries, the concepts of where we are doing, the three different incubations, the democracy in governance, and of course the democracy and governance incubation, the creative culture and creative industry innovation incubation is the most critical and one of the most powerful essence of this incubation in this new decade. And the other one is the social economic transformation incubation, and a lot more that this presentation will be available for you to follow from. So I think we might just can see some of the initiating incubation that some states have already nominated. And of course, these were the earliest of the people that we took graduates from diverse disciplines to train them and supply them to the labor market where we found manpower problems. And all these people were gainfully employed. So you don't just train people on the wrong concept, to give them what they need for the right time, and they will be able to do their thing and they won't need to beg anybody. And Programmers Foundation has, as we speak, we have built a galaxy of very decent innovators around the country, and we're doing a lot more. And these people have formed the faculty for us to work. And why are we doing this? You realize that Africa is doing so poorly in the entire competition. Africa is doing just about 6%, when Europe is doing 45%. Other countries, but then because we are not doing so well in Africa, we are not supposed to relent on our efforts, and we really need to repower all this. And for now, we are very proud that our Innovationbed Africa ecosystem can speak, not just verbally. We can look at each sectors of the Nigerian economy, and we have homegrown innovators. Look at the open government. You have the IRENE, you have the budget, you have several other innovators. That's the iPolice Mobile, human beings who are already, and they have the capacity to begin to correct our sectorial, all our sectorial issues and problems, and give us the digital innovation that we desire. And as it is, we can begin to build a lot more innovations, people into insurance, innovating in insurance, logistics for smart deliveries, donations, of course, innovation, innovating government tenders, and of course, probably trying to see how you can remove the corruption inherent with those things, field operations, innovation, CRM and financial inclusion products, and several more. And one should be able to hold our leaders accountable by asking them how many innovators they're able to rebuild in their various regions. Because the more of these people rebuild, like what we are doing now, we have actually dimensioned the entire Zamfara state as we speak. People have been nominated, and this incubation will be off the ground. Same from Nasarawa State. I think this is just the little I want to share briefly on some of the activities that we've been doing in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation, sir. Thank you very much. Now, moving on, before I begin to ask my question, I would like you to introduce yourself, your name and your position at Programmers Software Group.
Well, fine, thank you. My name is Amos Emmanuel. I run Programmers Software, and also founder Programmers Foundation. And Programmers Foundation, or rather, let me just start with Programmers Software. Programmers Software is Nigeria's pioneer stockbroking software company. By this, I mean we offer indigenous software development and support services to capital market operators in Nigeria, and we also do this to other African countries, and we are very available in Ghana, for instance. So this service is being used by over 100 capital market operators years back, and we are still there, and we are still doing so much, and of course we've helped so much in the automation of the Nigerian capital market ecosystem in the last almost 2 decades. And in the course of doing this is why we had to also look at our the NGO activities and try to power all that up. And that is why, as the UN World Summit Awards National Expert for Nigeria, it gives me that great opportunity to do tech scouting, to promoting innovations from around the world, from around the country. And you can see by the records that we have positioned here as a result of this effort. And a lot more that we want to really do going on to the field, to making sure that our next generation of people are not totally displaced, especially some of the students who are currently in school. And perhaps those ones roaming the streets looking for jobs, that we can begin to say they are actually creators, as jobs are not going to come back. It's okay for one politician to tell you they want to create 1 million jobs, but unfortunately, no job is coming back unless you can create one. And that should be the mindset of these young people in the economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, from your presentation, I actually saw the several achievements Nigeria has in the ICT world. The records, we are there. The achievements, we have it. The initiators, we have it. Now, my question now is, these achievements, how can they affect the economy positively?
On one hand, if you look at my early discussion in that intro, Nigeria is that system where, of course, we are being managed politically, democracy, so to speak. Leadership has to identify with its local capacities. It's very important because we have had an era, perhaps still ongoing, where leadership perhaps looks at the outside world for internal solutions. This may have helped them, but then obviously it has not really helped the economy and Nigeria as a society. The main reason why local innovation is key is because an innovator is developing from the experience from the challenge he or she has experienced. So for an innovator to wake up and think of an R&D that can deliver solution, and this is acceptable to the economy, to the society, I think it is very good that our local governments can actually support and promote this kind of things. But we see a situation whereby politics and politicians are playing to the gallery and nothing is actually happening on the ground. Government can never impact the economy if the local people are not impacting the economy. Now, this presentation I've just given you is to let you know that if Nigeria is actually interested in a digital economy, that means that we are interested in realizing or seeing a fairer, more sustainable, and more inclusive digital society. And to do that, you need capable hands, you need people, and we have that, just like we also noted. Now, why is it difficult for our government to recognize local players? Not share propaganda. Now, identifying with local players means it goes a long way to give you the results that you desire. These people are available. Most of them belong with one IT association or ideology or what have you, association as it were, and they are auditable. But they will choose to do these foreign processes or foreign relationships that are never auditable. And in the net impact, nobody can actually hold them responsible for whether the projects that they have engaged on has failed or not. Nigeria has actually invested so much in infrastructure. Is it in terms of broadband? Is it in terms of the necessary amenities that's available? Nigerian government and our democracy and particular leaders are looking at how much that they are spending. But sincerely, they are perhaps not looking at the attitude of sustaining what they have done using this very scarce resource, money. So it will take this domestic or this homegrown innovators to sustain the investment of government in broadband, the investment of general infrastructure, and of course, several other things that we have done in this country. Transportation, many governments are doing so very well. You can follow what Lagos State government is doing recently, introducing new transport system by way of this technology-based taxis all over the place. It is not just about putting the fleets of cars in the place. If government is not managing that particular expenditure, that particular investment in taxes for the community to commit people from one place to another, if they are not managing it properly and innovatively well, then we are ready to begin to raise scandals. We are beginning to see much more security issues with all these boxes that we call taxes, because they're not under any due diligence or they are not actually under proper guidance or governance of its operational capabilities. And it will take more of innovation to sustain that investment in these new taxes. Otherwise, these investments are just wastage. So, and we should be able to like curb these excesses by ensuring that there are preset innovation standards that is able to sustain this kind of, this investment of this kind of magnitude. Look at our trains, our railways. So much of this require long-term security-bound innovation that can better protect citizens using these facilities. Same way it is you find in security systems. And these are things that innovation can always do. We are totally should plan to re-innovate the entire country. Re-innovate means we've been doing something in some way, we should begin to do it in some other ways that could give us better results, because Nigeria has to be a competitive digital society. Those countries that have gotten it right, they never purchased the digital economy, they built it. And we have all that it takes to build the digital society. So it is not about just traveling and coming here, do conferencing, and we celebrate and begin to raise propaganda as if digital economy will be delivered by one human being. It is not about that. We do get on the ground and see what innovators and innovation can do about every region in the country. And that is the whole essence of the Programmers Foundation Incubation 2030 initiative that we have just commenced, with the backings of all the international communities that are looking at and watching what we are doing now.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, speaking about competitive digital competition in the country, are there any existing platform of such in Nigeria?
You're talking about competition?
Yeah, digital.
There are many. Obviously, there are many, not even within the country, globally. The United Nations World Summit Awards is a much more bigger, is actually this about, that's actually one of the very major platforms that innovations are sourced from all over, like I told you, over 180 UN member countries come together every year seeking for apps in the area of open government and citizens engagement, in the area of green energy and environment, in the area of health and lifestyle. Now, in the area of e-commerce, in the area of smart settlement and urbanization, in the area of empowerment, inclusion and empowerment, so in the area of culture and tourism. So several of these people are putting together, and it is meant to challenge and encourage people. We do not promote people by promising them monies, but we take you to the point where your product should be good enough, acceptable enough, that you begin to see your monies forever. You'll be prosperous, because networks that will see a good product will identify with a good product. And that is why we feel, government or no government, poor government or no poor government, innovators can build their digital society by the innovation that is actually correcting the menaces, the challenges of their society. And that's the power of innovation.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, I would like for you to share with me the platforms, the plans, the visions of Programmer Software Group, the ones you have in stock in improving the technology industry and increasing the numbers of innovators we have.
I think on one hand, for me to say we have an incubation. We have done pilots of all this across many dimensions. And let me look at it for the local environment immediately. Because these problems are not solved same way. You take, for instance, you have graduates just leaving the school and they are blank. You can't blame them. Yeah, you can't blame them. What we did was that as a software developer, and I have my niche, like I told you, my niche is the Nigerian capital market, particularly the capital markets anywhere in the world. Now, the capital market process is a labor force on its own. So you sometimes can also see that even in this sector, you have manpower problems, which is an opportunity for people looking for jobs. But guess what? They don't have what it takes to match the job. Yes, they are graduates. Even at first class, they are in more trouble. So what we did was to invite these jobless graduates, and we hosted them for 2 months. It's just like Big Brother Africa, what you call the Big Brother Africa reality. Now, we hosted them for 2 months, free program, because if you want to tag money, they may not have even 1 kobo. to pay to benefit. Because for me, we had to invest in this. Now, by the time we were done, at the early stage, about 2007, when we were even celebrating our 10th year anniversary at the Museum Center, we graduated over 250 of them at the Museum Center. And we're happy with we're happy with the class of the industry experts that joined us to celebrate them at the Museum Center during our 10th anniversary. And at that time, particularly special regard, thanks to then Mr. Anayo Agu, the then senior specialist at the United Nations, at the US Embassy in Lagos, because they were there to certify them when we presented them to the public. And we also sent them out to the various organizations to go and speak and earn their jobs. All of them were shared across several countries, several companies in the Nigerian capital market subsector, and nobody came back to me except the ones I particularly had to employ for my own internal support works. Because it was easier to employ those people than looking for people outside them, because they already have the knowledge. So if you actually can help a graduate who just step out and does not know what the labor market is saying, and you don't able to help them, give them certain content that they can work somewhere and speak and earn their jobs, then those people can be there for so long. And of course, you know, the kind of distress and the kind of problems this set of people will go through in the economy. And of course, that is a major concern, which I think leadership should be able to identify. So in addressing such graduate problem, it won't be the same thing as when you are correcting those who are currently in school. Undergraduates currently in school, you agree with me that so many students are on a certain course of study, and they are regretting that they are in that course of study because they believe people who read that course never got jobs. But guess what? In nation building, there is no course of study that is not relevant. There's no course of study that's not valuable. Your content in any course of study, be it Yoruba, be it Hausa, be it Igbo, be it Efik, you are a content authority, and you should be able to make whatever it is that you have done in school. As an authority, you should be able to produce a service or product out of it. So by the time we are putting you through an incubation that makes you to know what innovation is all about, you are stepping out a master of yourself and not a job seeker. Because if you don't create the job as you step out, who creates the jobs? Yes, who creates the jobs? And jobs today is not about human beings, and that's the reality. So we're not going to go to an era where we are saying, oh, jobs are being created, I'm looking for a job. In fact, please, you agree with me that going forward, you looking for a job is not going to be anything attractive again. It's not an attraction for somebody to be looking for a job, because you should even immediately blame yourself. Why cannot I not create something? I did 5 years in the university, 6 years, 7 years in the university sometimes. So what can I show for my period in school? So that's the kind of mindset, the innovation bed, we call it digital citizens, innovation, capacity development, incubation. So you see, they need to realize themselves while they are in school to take what they are doing much more serious, more than an examination, because by the time you are done with an examination, the exam will part ways, you are on your own and you face your life. But if you never read what you were doing in school beyond the examination, you'll be a job seeker in the end instead of a job creator.
Thank you very much, sir. So moving on, I would like for you to kindly highlight the current challenges that are facing the software stock in Nigeria, and how best can the challenges can be quickly addressed.
I'll be quick to say the Nigerian leadership still has no goodwill for software development in Nigeria, and they blatantly have high level of disrespect to the software development industry. That I can openly say. There is actually no goodwill, no serious mindedness in that direction. And they probably think it's just outspokenness and propaganda policies here and there. That's not what software development is all about. People to do software is not government people. People to do software are those people who are walking about the place and they have the problems, and these guys should be able to challenge them. Let them go back to the history. In Nigeria, software Nigeria is an established incubation, is an established authority and known all over the world that Nigeria has that capacity, not even the last 2-3 years, much beyond now. Because even 2 decades ago that it was attractive for many Nigerian banks to go for, that it was attractive for them to buy foreign banking solutions. I will actually tell you that the back end of what these people were using for their the best of their customer support and customer customerizations and all of that were powered by in-house ad hoc developers who were 100% Nigerians. To an extent that Nigerian development teams were internally correcting the bugs, the problems, and adding to the improvement of foreign software purchased, that for which a lot of capital flights also had to go with it. So the Nigerian development environment has always been there, but we've just been that we had no good support of the government to help us. And where one opportunity will come is dashed away, just the same way politicians do their thing, and the industry has been suffering for a long time. So I, for one, don't have that respect to say I want to begin to beg one government that has no, good plans or what have you. I don't care. They're just not there. They're just not there, and they're just there for that propaganda on the surface. And I don't think that is helping the software Nigeria's recovery. There's actually a recovery right now, and many Nigerians are involved with several things from all over the world. So it does not have to be the big names of Microsoft, it does not have to be the big names of Oracle and the likes of them. Many things ought to have been out in terms of local and national stacks for this country. And that is why so many decisions have failed, because they're actually not looking inwards enough to get the outcomes for our digital economy the right way. So this in itself is a minus.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I want us to consider two things in my next question. Considering the level of broadband penetration in parastatals and the level at which the government are taking our digital economy, do you think the implementation of e-government framework at all levels and other industry is feasible?
On one hand, it's infrastructure. You spoke about broadband. I'll give it to Nigerian communication, the NCC, that perhaps not just by the words that we have heard, that quite frankly, so much has been done in the area of broadband, but it's not yet to whole. It's actually not yet to whole. It's not enough for us to say, because I'm on a 20-story building and I have my network working so well, and that the people to regrow this country are not even in this class of people. They are perhaps people in the rural areas. People in the rural areas are better challenged to know what they need to do to correct Nigeria as we speak. So infrastructure to the last person in the in the rural area is very important. So it therefore means that these SMEs and these ideas that can spring up in these lowly rural stroke urban regions of the country need this infrastructure to begin to innovate into their brick and mortar, and of course transforming them into that digital line and off that we are beginning to talk about, Industry 4.0, for which that is even gone beyond that. So many people are still at that lowest point, and they need this infrastructure to ride and grow the transformation from their brick and mortar to a much more digital enterprises by way of their ideas. So it won't be about the pronouncements of this percentage, this that they've done this broadband. The issue is that, are they sustainable? Are they really reliable? So many things around, so many things around these services as we speak today. So, but then for government to be able to adopt this into their e-government platform, they need a goodwill. Sincerely, for governments to be able to operate an open government, kind of environment where they are also able to openly, allow participation by the citizens, I think it goes a long way. And this has to be when the government is ready to open up itself and of course share the pain sometimes of the citizens, and trying to weigh and marry this with the benefits that they owe the populace. So I think there's a lot more has to do with the caliber of people in leadership to knowing whether this goes down the way and is actually also implemented, and if implemented, not abused, and there are sufficient, standard operating procedures to ensuring that these things are really there, and we actually can see what punitive measures are there, where there are conflicts or where there are non-conformities that will abuse such level of investments into the e-government platform. The e-government platform of Nigeria has always been there, but is neither here nor there in terms of its stability. And it has to be stability, it has to be secure, it has to be reliable, people have to own it, people have to appreciate and respect it. But when it is not trusted, then you probably will be talking about its success in the air, and you won't be able to, people won't be able to reckon with it as much as possible. But several other countries are doing so well in this area. And let's don't forget that in this new era, where artificial intelligence is critical, machine learning is critical, there are so many dimensions to what can make this work for us, and the trust system is also there. So we need to be able to ensure that things are properly put in place before some of these things can work in our own kind of environment, because our socio-cultural, socio-economic, socio-cultural concepts are not the same way as perhaps what you'll find in Europe. And that is why Europeans actually woke up early to design and address artificial intelligence for Europe. And up till today, we are still deficient in artificial intelligence for the true African culture. And that's why we can be in doubt as to how well we can adopt e-government to the letter of what should be expected in the country for now. And this will impact, it will actually also impact our digital economy journey.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now, lastly, before we call our meeting to an end, are there any achievement the Programmer Software Group envisage to achieve for Nigeria the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years in terms of its digital economic goals and objectives?
Well, as you follow our dream, because we still call it a dream, yes. As at the December 3rd, 2021, when we were given the opportunity to share our incubation program, and that incubation is targeted at reaching out, influencing, and impacting possible 1 million digital citizens between now and the end of 2030. So 2030 is a major goal for us, and the way to go is how can these young people from all the 774 local governments across Nigeria, how can they be helped? It should be free to them. If I had not invested for free programs, free pilots, I perhaps would not have gotten the kind of results I've gotten for the country. And the kind of values we are talking about is not even the kind of values you'll find as cost you'll find in a typical university, typical training institute, or some other kind of innovation hubs. We have gotten services from different parts of the world. Is it our national network of national experts on the UN World Summit Awards? Is it even our Innovationbed Council of Innovators, and who are all former winners of the UN World Summit Awards, or the national nominees of the WSA Nigeria, and even the beneficiaries of our UNICT for CIS projects that we have, who are currently retrainers that we have. If we can actually get all these forces together to facilitate rebuilding of this new generation of Nigerians, and we can target about 1 million of them, no matter how little they're able to fund this project, even if they are just platform values, we'll be able to reach out to about 1 million and impact the lives of about 1 million people from diverse areas, either for the creative and the film industry. Because if you look at the film industry right now, they've been highly displaced. What you find in the film industry is just down that people are using the social media right now to share scandals. The scandals you find now is to show you the extent by which our Nollywood industry, the creative industry, has been displaced. And they need a lot of assistance, because we actually can't toy and joke with that sector. The old hands, the old artists, the old hands in that sector needs to be held, because they have the IQ, the right content that can give Nigeria the value that it needs to resolve the prosperity, to bring the prosperity and lower the poverty at that lower ebb of this economy. And if that is to be so, so many of these actors are being displaced, and they just need help in terms of capital and knowledge. So by the time they know that, they can sustain and retain what they've been doing before. They were doing this before now. Most of them didn't have to be in the university, and they were doing this so well. And the world today is open to you whether you're in the university or not. By the time you have your good knowledge of what you need to be able to do, and you have the skills of what you want to give to the society, and the distribution of what you have done, your work of arts, can span global in terms of distribution. People like Netflix and the rest of them can even begin to look at the local options, which was actually what actually made me contact our mainstream media expert there, Mr. Rame, that if you begin to look at those local stars that can actually make them to benefit more from the cost and value of what their local contents are, then they can't be taking advantage of it, because so many other products and environments will now just be taking advantage of the contents from Nigeria. And with almost 500 languages, several capabilities to produce more of these products. These products are sellable in Europe, they are sellable in the US, and we have not even seen anything. And this is about the time all these sectors need to reposition, take advantage, and of course, quadruple or multiply the benefits in that sector, because they are now using technological advancements for which we are considering the incubation that can actually partner with the European Union, and of course be able to see how this people can take the benefit of it, and we contact all the ministries of culture, tourism, all over the country, and they'll be able to make good people who have such capabilities in Nigeria, and we don't kill what they already know. Right now, the best we have in that place is just the sharing of sex tapes, is to tell you how bad it has been in the sector, and it needs a quick attention.
Thank you very much. I guess that will be all. It has been a pleasure having you around here, sir. Thank you for acknowledging our invite. I look forward to speaking with you one more time in the future.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Oh, merci beaucoup. Thanks.